we're going to have Dr. Dorit Dor, the Chief Technology Officer of Check Point, that will take us to the challenges of defense technologies in cyber and AI. Dorit, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Dorit Dor. This is my 30th year at Check Point, means I started at 2 years old. And we're doing cyber defense, but when I also graduated Tel Aviv University. I have a PhD in computer science. And when I started my first degree, the internet was not even there at current stage. And I grew all my career through the advancements of the previous revolution, which was the internet, the mobile, all together. And I think some of this is in the back of my mind when I come to look at AI and the new technologies today. And the second thing is that when there is a technology that could confuse a cat with guacamole, it becomes very interesting to me. So AI make such mistakes, and that's a great challenging experience. So before I dive into cyber and AI, and actually my thesis would be that the AI influence the same way the attackers, the defenders in cyber world and in real life. So I'll try to give you some taste of this. But before I do this, I go back to my history from Tel Aviv University and the previous revolution, and I want to explain that there is a difference between a force multiplier and a transformation. So initially, when technology comes, there is a force multiplier. You take everything like you did before, and now you do it more effectively. With AI, automatically, you teach it, now it knows, and everything is exciting. But the real thing comes with the transformation. And with the transformation come completely different things that you could not foresee before. Comes SaaS services, comes direct to consumer, because now there is a media and you could talk to it. Comes gig economy. Comes even how we combat COVID disease when it comes. Comes the interaction. People prefer to contact you first in text and not on phone. Comes many different aspects of life that are transformative. Some transform business, some transform our lives. And so my thesis during this lecture would be that we are at the infant stages of AI, and we are at the force multiplier stage. But I urge every one of us to think how it would look at the transformational stage. The only thing is we can't really say how it would look, but we could kind of emphasize, based on what we know today and transformation we know today, what it's likely to look like. So before I dive in, what is this AI? AI is like an intern, a baby. You teach it skills, you guide it, you provide it feedback. So yes, it's good, no, it's bad, and then it moves to the next stage. So when you come to do AI with anything you do, I give here an example from my life at Check Point with cyber. You take the problem, you assume there is some prompt or some question or some API, and you move on into dealing with how to secure these things and how to know that you are asking the right question. But then you go to the skills, and we wanted to teach our AI to know how to do like documentation, policies, enforcement, security, all the different security components. And then, only then, when it has the skills, you turn it into a conversational aspect through LLM, and the LLM may be on-prem, and the LLM may be an open source LLM, or maybe a giant LLM. And in different industries, you'll find different LLMs. And really, the architecture of how you do this, and do you do this with RAG, or do you do it with the cloud, and what type of LLMs you use, and what type of data you use, is related to your business case. But this flow is quite a generic flow that fits nearly everything. So now I'm getting back to how cyber and AI intersect. And they are intersecting in 5 elements. And I'll talk mainly about 3, and then I'll give a perspective of the defense industry. So one is attackers, how attackers are using AI. One is how the defenders are using AI to actually defend. The third one is how AI is using operationalization of security groups. The fourth one is not the focus today, is how do we as organizations secure the usage of AI in the organization. And the fifth one is very important. With AI comes data, and you've seen Yael talking about all the data that we are collecting. So how the hell we are guarding this data? What is needed to be done? It's a different type, a different breed of data. So going very quickly into the first three aspects. Do the attacker use AI? The answer is definitely yes. They also read the book. They also know that AI is force multiplier. They also know that everything they could do before, they could do now faster. You could look at groups in Russia that gives you attack as a service. By the way, attacking is given as service these days. You could consume malware as a service or ransomware as a service. So if you are an attacker, you just consume it as a service. You don't have to invent the technology. So if you look at some of the Russian groups that gives attack as a service, you'd see Gen AI all over the place as part of their publication why they're good. Or if you look at South Korea reports about North Korea, you'd see that they have already an AI institute for 10 years, and that North Korea actively use AI against South Korea. So they're definitely using AI. What do they use AI for? They would use AI to find the targets. We will talk about this in a few slides, but to find the targets, to make it very targeted, to analyze and handle the attack very effectively. And at the combination of all this come massive targeted attack. So if you take the fact that you could find the targets very easily, you could do it on many masses, you could do the attack very effectively, you'd get a massive targeted attack. And before, we got used to regular targeted attacks. So we are not necessarily in the ability to respond fast to massive targeted attack. This is a major challenge that are coming at us. In addition, every technology change is an opportunity to new types of attack, which will not be discussing heavily today, but can I use the prompt to hurt you? Can I use the prompt to poison your data? Can I use the prompt to steal information that you didn't intend to reveal? And now we're moving to the defenders. So what can the defenders do with AI? They could do a force multiplier, everything we did before, developing protection, doing remediation, everything could be effective and automated and very accurate, much more accurate than before. But even more than that, it could be very accurate detection of bad stuff, so that it will be prevented in day one. If you take the assumptions that the attackers are attacking you fast, you have to respond in real time. You don't have the time to analyze things and think about them. You have to respond in real time. So precision makes you understand very fast if something is phishing, if something is malware, if something is bad, and make it preventable. The third thing that AI does for the defenders is a new interface. Instead of working with a cryptic environment that I have to be expert to operate, I now have a more friendly environment that I could talk to, and I could in the same way create reports to my peers, to my board, to people in the organization so they could collaborate and work through security incidents together. I could also make my security more reliable, and I could think about what's the different transformations. So these are all kind of force multipliers, but what would be done in the future that will make security looks different? This is something we will build piece over piece. And in 5 years from now, we could summarize what it is. And the third element that I wanted to speak about is the operations. Obviously, everywhere that there is operation, there are people. You could do triage of events. You could educate the next generation of people that are coming so they could do their job better. You could automate responses and script. If you have people that read threat reports, then you could automate reading threat reports and summarizing them. Nearly everything you did before, you could do more effective with AI. And the AI makes it less human intensive and less error, kind of human error in the picture. The fourth, I said I would not talk about today, is how you defend against problems with the AI used inside your organization. This is not the focus today, but there is a lot of work in this space. And the fifth is how you protect your data. So all of a sudden, the important thing you need to know about your data is that all of a sudden, we all got the motivation to collect tons of data and to give access to all these tons of data to the same set of people so that they could analyze this data. and kind of test it for the AI or before the AI or while developing the AI, or giving the AI access to this data and letting the AI response over this data. And this creates a huge exposure in the organization and questions like where did the data came from and what exposure I have to this data. So let's go back to the attackers. And now my thesis is, let's see in more details how the attackers use AI, and then let's see how it exactly the same helps the defenders and how exactly the same it helps real life versus cyber. I think it's all the same fundamentals of the AI, and once you understand how AI works, you could tune it to your use case, and there are that many big differences between attacker defenses, real-life defense, or virtual defense, except some of the reliability demands and real-time demands. So here are some of the findings from Checkpoint Research Group about how attackers use AI. So one of the use cases is by phishing and getting phishing through your defenses. So you have certain defenses. It could be either phishing or by testing your defenses that they find a door that is kind of an entry door for them. The second one would be even more targeted. It would be to convince you that the CFO signed for a money transfer and to let you transfer the money, thinking that you are with the CFO. Or even worse than this, getting you on a call with supposedly many people that's supposedly advising you on an event that supposedly happened, that now you only need to transfer the money, except it is all fake and you just lost 25 million. These are things that AI could and do today. The third element is, again, an example. This is an example where AI help make a whole environment of content, of unagreed content. In this case, it was porn that was published and bypassed all the defenses. Again, this is all based on the AI ability to understand the mission, take the details of the mission, and find cracks behind the scenes on how to put it up very fast and how to let it operate. Another examples of things that AI could do for you, finding an entry point. This is a publication by Google. So AI looks for vulnerabilities in services and found a zero-day vulnerability in MySQL. So this is one, okay? The AI is infant. Remember the beginning. We teach it something, it knows to do this. Tomorrow it will know to do more. We will give it feedback. It will even know to do much more. So the same AI is kind of used now in a different way. If AI before was used to find the entry point in the different ways I described, and then to collect intelligence, test your environment, execute and monitor your attack, and make it much more accurate and lasting, making sure that the attack will be successful. And now, if you take this and put it inside AI agents, so you have it in masses, and you could kind of attack the whole world at once. So now we'll turn it upside down, and we will ask how could it help the defenders and how it could help the real life. So how it could help the defender if the AI knows to find vulnerabilities, that's great. That was what we were missing the whole time. Help us find the vulnerabilities, we would fix them. Maybe it could also help us fix them better. Have the AI assistance help somebody when he signs a $25 million check. And maybe the AI could have been prevented because it understands better kind of baseline behavior, so it could have prevented the malicious transfer. AI could be better precision, so it could lead to prevention first. And AI could be running with agents and perform triaging of many, many events in parallel. It could make the response very, very fast, or even autonomous if we let it respond autonomously. And what happens in real life? In real life, it's just an extension of it. There is a great episode of Black Mirror with bees. These are artificial bees that are robots, and somebody takes over the robot and activate them for the bad purpose. The same thing, you could activate robots for good things. You could get to a massive quality. You could identify if this is a rogue drone, or at the same time, you could identify if this is activate a good drone to make a mission that you want. The line are much more blurred than we would want to think between defense and offense in many senses, and certainly also between the real life and the not real life. One of the differences that is making it very interesting is how much we are willing to let the AI be autonomous in real life, and it means that it will take the decision and it will take the shot. AI is becoming a tool into the defense. You could see announcements for multiple AI companies. The last thing before I finish is about AI next generation. I think that the next generation of this AI will be AI-first company. An AI-first company, I'll do the research, I'll do the validation for my idea, I'll use programmers that are doing AI. Yes, there would be still product managers and architects, and some of the programming people would do. It will all be API first, and it will all be kind of based into reinforcement learning and data usage. So when you want to ask what is your moat, it would be what is your moat in terms of data. And if you become at that, you will teach it to become autonomous more and more. There would be many mistakes at the beginning, but we will make it work better. And at the end, we will have AI-based system. There are many more things to say about AI. There are other challenges like trust, how do we prove the claim that AI is good, claims like GDPR. These are things that go beyond cyber to the AI claim. But AI is here. It's a force multiplier. It will turn into a transformation. It will transform both the attackers and the defender. AI is also going to impact future technologies. So if you take quantum computing, it will help both utilize quantum computing, and it will leverage quantum computer for each utilization. The only thing that's really clear is that the space is moving really fast. So get ready to use AI and get ready to run. Thank you.